This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, it's me, gang. It's Alex, and it's the Ramble. See that beautiful city below us? That's New York, and we'll be here until midnight. And hello, one and all. How are you? Oh, boy. I'm tired again tonight. Constantly tired. I don't know. I'm going to stop taking a heavy version of the pill I've been taking. So I'm going to take half a dose. So we're going to see what happens. I just, you get, as Betty Davis once said, getting old ain't for sissies. Okay? Just let me warn you ahead of time. Nothing to look forward to. Okay? All right. Anyway, listen, it's time for us to start our program off by going to our old friend who was out in California, and his name is Phil Meyer. Hello, Philip.
Hey, thanks for letting me on today. This is it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, well, it's good talking to you too.
Yeah. So what's new? What have you been doing lately?
What have I been doing? Nothing. I just wish I could just sleep all day. Doo-dah, sleep all day and sleep all night, all the doo-dah. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know. I'm just exhausted lately. I just constantly. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so I'm here with my coffee. Actually, it's my day-old coffee. I finally decided I never finish a whole cup of coffee. I leave at least a half, if not 2/3 of a cup here, and so I put it in the refrigerator and warm it up the next day. It's just as good.
Hey, waste not, want not. I've been noticing. The last couple of days, I broke out. I have a first generation Apple Watch, and
one of those old ones, the small ones.
Yeah. This is I guess it's 38 millimeter, or however.
It was yours, the large one.
No, it was the smaller one. I bought it for Faye.
It was a 38.
Right.
Okay.
I bought it for Faye in. The box says 2015. Mm-hmm. Is that possible? The first generation was 2015.
Could well be. I think you might be right. I think so. There's a good possibility you're correct.
Yeah, we had the box and the whole thing. So I went over to the Apple store. The impetus for this is that people in my vicinity of where I live, Walnut Creek, Danville, they've been getting knocked over the head, and they've been stealing their Rolexes. So there's been a number of armed robberies in Redwood City, Walnut Creek, Danville, Blackhawk. They followed some guy, a woman in a Bentley home from shopping, and the neighbor actually thwarted the robbery. But most of these robberies have netted the victim. There was a restaurant around the corner.
Yeah.
Followed him out of the restaurant into the parking lot, knocked him down, robbed him at gunpoint, and took his Rolex. And I'm saying to myself, do I really want to advertise that, that's what I wear? Because I've walked into a number of stores lately, and a clerk or somebody would say, "Hey, nice Rolex." And I'm saying to myself, I don't notice them when I walk around. How are these people noticing them? And now the news.
Let me tell you, many years ago, you could go and stand in front, go to the Rolex building here in New York on Fifth Avenue. And oddly enough, ironically enough, in front of the Rolex building was a guy selling phony Rolexes. Which actually were not considered to be terribly bad watches. They had a Seiko movement in them or something. Pretty okay,
Some of them keep better time than the real Rolex.
So I bought one. I bought one, and I started wearing it. And then everybody would say, "Ooh, nice Rolex." Really,
Yeah.
because from a distance, you can't tell.
No, you can't.
You know,
But-
up close, yeah, you can say, "Oh, that's not there, and this is off, and that doesn't look right, and this." But from just across the table, it looks like you're wearing a Rolex. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I knew people who started getting robbed for their Rolexes, and I said, "I'll be damned if I'm going to be beaten over the head for a phony Rolex."
For a
You know.
$50 watch,
For
for a $100
50.
watch.
I bought them for 15.
15, yeah. And, but
You know, so I decided that I wasn't going to wear my phony Rolex anymore.
well,
Plus, also the message it gave to other people that I was really a sucker and paid for a Rolex. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I bought this in 1996, and I've worn it every day since I bought it. I liked it. I liked the way it felt. I liked it on my wrist much more than any other watch. And I have other ones.
I was watching Antiques Roadshow, Antiques Roadshow. And a guy comes on and he says, "I've got this Rolex watch. It's still in its original box."
Was that the Daytona the guy bought in Vietnam or something?
No,
when he
I
was
don't
in the
know where
military?
he said he bought it. I think maybe the Philippines or South Korea or someplace like
It was
that.
a Daytona,
Was it what? No,
a Rolex Daytona.
no.
The name of the watch.
No, it was
It was
an
a
oyster.
chronometer.
It was a chronometer, and it was a oyster, I think.
Well, they were all oyster,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was it worth.
By the way,
200
you know what
grand?
kind of noise annoys an oyster?
Yeah, Rolex.
No, a noisy noise annoys an oyster. Anyway, the guy looks at it and he says, "Oh, and you have the original box, and it's never been worn."
And the receipt.
And the receipt, and the whole bunch of provenance on it, and all of that. And he said, "Oh well, this watch is worth $1 million."
Wow, I thought I saw that one, but
And the guy literally collapsed.
yeah, he was kind of like a hippie, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was like he had a long beard, long hair, and all of that, And he just collapsed and went, "Oh boy,"
Did he pay $500 for it in like
paid,
1960?
no, I think he paid $300.
Wow, at the PX or
But,
something.
yeah, the PX, and that was a lot of money for him in
Yeah.
those days.
That was probably 2 months' pay.
And it's a great story.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk, right?
Yeah.
So amazing, just amazing. But so I stopped wearing my phony Rolex because I didn't want to get killed for a phony Rolex.
That's the last thing you need. I saw tonight on YouTube, they were talking about people getting robbed for their Rolexes. And in the UK, they had a number of people, they went into a guy's store and knocked him down on the floor. Other situations where 4 people got out of a car, swarmed a guy that was just walking down the sidewalk. They must have seen it at one point because he had his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
And knocked him over the head. Who needs this?
And who needs it? Nobody needs that.
No.
But anyways, I mean, but something, you should really just get yourself a full blown Apple Watch, because really they're very good. They're very useful. I get all my messages on them. If I Skyped you, you could get the message.
Well, I see things on it. I'm not quite sure how it works. I've gone through messages and emails. If I have a
well, you see, if you get what I've got,
yeah,
this works online as well.
yeah,
This is really a phone. I can leave my phone at home and make calls from this thing and listen to music from the cloud on this thing. I mean, it's basically you can use it without your iPhone. That one you have to have your iPhone around.
yeah. Well, I have the iPhone anyway, because now my phone is working in conjunction with my diabetes sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps track of all
What does
day.
your diabetes sensor say? Oh yes, you still have diabetes.
Yeah, well, see, I got this thing here.
Uh-huh.
What happens is you go to the program.
Now, does that stick to you, or does it have a needle that goes in?
It has a needle,
Yeah.
so let's say I put the phone. It's hard to see. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, scan error. Try it again. Check glucose.
Your Apple Watch will probably soon be able to do that.
Yeah, I think so. So right now my sugar's 121. There we go.
Yeah.
121. But it keeps track. That graph is telling me.
Is that good? 121 good?
Yeah, for me it is. Normal is 99. So if you're not diabetic, 99 and a little bit under 90, 99.
Well, we have somebody waiting to come on the line who is diabetic as well.
Yeah. Charlie?
Yeah, we'll ask him about it in a bit.
Yeah. So, but I also I got monkeypox here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I caught it. So that's monkeypox.
It's not because people got it from monkeys.
No, well, I got it from a plush. Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, it's the Rolex thing, the diabetes, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Has been on my mind this week. So just to finish up the Rolex thing, I left this in the safe for 4 days. And I wore this, and it wasn't so bad. You can check your breath, so it tells you to breathe for a minute or whatever you set it for.
What you should do is get one of the new ones. You don't mind spending the money, and get one of the large ones, and get it so it works without the iPhone if you want it to.
Yeah.
And you pay $10 a month extra to the phone company for the service, and I think you'll find it extraordinarily useful once you learn how to use all the features. I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't live without it.
No, I'm trying to wean myself off of the Rolex in order to do the Apple Watch. It's difficult, to go from something like this to something that's plastic. Especially after 30 years of wearing it, it's tough to wean yourself off.
Yeah.
But, and now just to get on to Trump for a minute.
We can get on to him for about a half hour right now.
I guess there's Democrats as well as Republicans that are condemning the weaponizing of the Department of Justice as well as FBI.
You're using the language that has already been sent out there to be said by everybody. The weaponizing of the FBI.
Well, yes. Now think about this. Whenever in these countries in South America, when one administration loses to another administration, they go out, they shoot the last guy, they arrest him, they put him in chains.
That's true.
And then, for instance,
but what do we do? What do we do in this country if we have a president who, while he was in office or left office, did things that were illegal? Is he allowed to get away with the crime because you're afraid of saying, oh, it's like a South American country?
That has nothing to do with this. If he committed a crime, there's nothing wrong in investigating and trying somebody that committed a crime.
Well, they're investigating.
Right? No, yes, but what they're also doing is by the search that they did of his home, which turned up nothing. And I think what's happening.
What do you mean it turned up nothing? How do you know it turned up nothing?
There was 4 documents.
Were you there, Phil?
Yeah, well, I know that anything that they did turn up was probably planted by the FBI.
Oh, jeez, Phil, please don't even start with
they
that.
They turned up. Let me tell you what they turned up. They turned up a letter.
Wait, who told? Where did you find this out? Because the FBI hasn't said what they turned up, and the FBI hasn't even shown the warrant, which they don't do normally in these cases.
Well, Alan told me, if you ask me that question, to say MSNBC. But
no, I'm not. I wasn't watching MSNBC.
But I didn't see it there. I see.
But you saw it.
There has been some negotiations between Trump and the government that some of the documents that he had taken from the White House, he was negotiating whether he
returned 13 boxes of them.
I think the FBI took boxes.
No, he returned 13 boxes.
Okay, well, they found
See,
four other
you
documents.
don't even know the situation. You haven't even.
They took boxes out of Mar-a-Lago.
Well, they took boxes out of Mar-a-Lago because those were boxes he wasn't.
He wasn't going to turn over yet, but he was in negotiations to do that.
Well, no, apparently, look, we don't know what happened with those negotiations, but usually if negotiations are ongoing, they don't just do something like this.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you what the four documents that
No, there aren't four documents, Phil. Nobody knows what they took out of there. They were there from 6 in the morning till 6 at night. Okay.
Right. Well, they found a couple of things, especially in Melania's closet. But one of the documents that I was led to understand was a letter from Obama to Trump.
Yes.
Another one was a letter from Kim Jong-un to Trump. And
by the way, I believe those were part of the stuff that was handed over before.
Well, and another was a menu from a state.
But we don't know what they took because they haven't stated what they took, and they probably won't state what they took because that's privileged information.
Well, you know what they found in Melania's closet?
Hamburgers.
No, the 33,000 Hillary emails and the server.
I see. Yeah.
So anyway, I also look at this deal where they're spending billions of dollars on IRS hiring. Is it 80,000 IRS investigators? They ought to get 80,000 of them to answer your questions when you call with a problem. But and I
you're
think
you're all over the place tonight, Phil. Pick a topic.
No.
Pick a topic. Any topic.
Any topic. I think what's going to happen, and I was talking about weaponizing. Okay, I think that what the Dems are trying to do is use the IRS to go after conservatives or Trump supporters.
Yeah, good. Okay, start believing that because you know Nixon did it with me.
Yeah, and did you like it?
He didn't get away with it.
All right. Well, hopefully.
And the only reason he never wound up in prison was because he got pardoned.
Yeah, by Ford, and I guess that cost him the presidency.
Well, you know. Anyway,
nobody likes those kinds of intrusions.
To begin with, who released the information about the search at Mar-a-Lago?
Trump.
Mm-hmm. So all the news about it came from him, and all the parsing of it and the talking about it came from his perspective and nobody else's. There is nothing there from the FBI. They're doing what they always do. They never talk about these things, you know, and they never show the warrant because that is none of your business, okay? And they're not trying to prejudice a case ahead of time.
But they didn't allow Trump's attorneys to be present during the search so that they could verify what was taken.
I believe, to begin with, the Secret Service was there, the Secret Service that protects him. Okay.
Right. Didn't they stand that? But that wasn't their position to verify.
And I believe the lawyers were allowed. Here's what happened: the lawyers were too busy in New York. You know who his lawyer is?
It's not the guy that's in jail. What's his name?
No.
Not Avenatti.
It's some woman who was an announcer on OAN. That's his lawyer.
Well, they're not going to take their eyes off of him.
And I think that lawyer was at Mar-a-Lago at the time. But anyway, the point is that, number one, the FBI was very nice to Trump about this. They made sure he was not going to be home. Now, why do you think they didn't want to make sure he was at home?
So they could continue. They could go through all of these things, and there wouldn't be a confrontation.
Wrong, Phil.
Well, they didn't want confrontation. How would it look if...
No confrontation. That wasn't the reason why.
All right. Well, tell me what you think.
It was out of respect for him. Because if he was there, they would have had to handcuff him. Because it's procedure that if you're going to do a search, that you handcuff the person whose premises you're searching so that he can't go around destroying evidence. So they made sure he wasn't going to be there, and they notified the Trump people, I think it was maybe 6 hours ahead of time, that they were going to be doing this. So all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted, So
I am very glad that Merrick Garland didn't get a position on the Supreme Court, because as far as I'm concerned, he ought to be impeached. What he did was
he should be impeached. They don't impeach. You don't impeach people who are the head of the
You can get rid of them.
Justice Department.
What he did was
no. All he did was sign off on it. But him signing off on it is not the final thing. The final thing is a judge who looks at what the Justice Department, or in this case the FBI, said were the things they were looking for.
All right,
and the reason for it, and the judge said, okay, this looks kosher.
Okay, did you hear some of the statements that were made by that judge, some of his postings on Facebook? And he was a pro-Obama judge. He didn't like Trump. Matter of fact, he also donated money.
Where did you hear this one?
Alan says MSNBC.
Where did you hear this one? I turned over to Fox to hear how they were parsing all of this. And there were two differences between MSNBC and Fox. One major difference.
The truth?
Fox referred to it as a raid.
Yeah.
And MSNBC correctly called it a search. You see, nobody had a raid warrant. They had a search warrant. It is
what was their problem?
It was not a raid. That was Trump's statement that they raided me.
Right. What was the probable
raid him. If
cause?
they raided him, they would have confiscated drugs.
What was the probable cause for the search?
I have no idea, and you don't either, and neither does Fox, and neither does anybody in this country, until the FBI wants to hold a press conference and say it, and they probably won't, because they usually don't in any case.
I think that the reason for it was to try to continue to discredit Trump.
People here are writing on the chat, drink.
Well, good. I hope they're drunk. The thing is, I think that they are trying to discredit Trump. They're trying to put more chinks in his armor so he doesn't run in 2024. They tried it with the dossier. That was
what did you think about his mob boss attitude at his deposition today?
I didn't see the deposition.
Refusing to testify?
He took the fifth.
Taking the fifth, yeah.
Well,
isn't that what mobs? Isn't that what mobs?
No,
in fact, it was Trump himself who, in the past, said that if you take the Fifth Amendment, then you're probably guilty.
Well, he said
that, Phil.
But why should you give your opponents the opportunity to use whatever you say against you? He's much better off taking the fifth. That's his constitutional right. And, that's his right as an American. That's not got anything to do with being a mobster. You want to protect yourself from self-incrimination.
Well, according to Trump, in a past statement he made while he was president, anybody who takes the fifth is probably guilty.
Yeah, well,
if you believe everything Trump says, then you have to agree that he probably is guilty.
You've made statements that you want to retract, like Phil's a nice guy.
The fact that I say you are a nice guy has got me in a lot of trouble with my audience.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, good. Maybe they'll get drunk.
Yeah.
And if they get drunk, they might call.
But Phil, I wish that a lot of this were true. But I mean, you've got you're not in pure possession of the facts.
I'm in possession of enough of the facts. No. I'm in possession enough.
You're saying here's what they took. Nobody knows what they took.
Obama's letter.
No, Phil. I believe, if I remember correctly, that is stuff that he willingly gave up because it was requested by the
the archives.
The archives, the National Archives. It's National Archives.
Wouldn't he want that stuff for his own library?
No,
I'm sure he's going to have a presidential library.
He can get Xerox copies of it.
Okay.
And I think if you do start your own presidential library, you can request these things from the archives who will loan them to your library.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, there's something that he's refused to turn over that is privileged information of the government's that he does not have a right. That he does not have a right to have, and that's what they were looking for. Now, whether they found it or not, I have no idea because nobody told me, and nobody told you either.
I saw it on Fox.
Yeah,
I saw they had the list of those documents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they were able to get their hands on. You forget.
Of course,
it,
I'm sure.
Phil, come on.
All right.
Let's be,
yeah, I am.
Let's not try to create a horrible situation here, where we're relying.
Oh, and the last thing I want to say, it's on a different topic. I like the new opening very much. It's real professional. It's the video of the city and all of those things. It's really clean.
Yeah, I shot all those pictures myself.
No, I'm sure you did. Well, you paid for it.
I pay for it. Yeah, I pay for it. Yeah, it looks good. It's more professional than the rest of the show.
Yeah, of course.
By the way, I want to say this, folks. On Friday, we won't be starting the talk part of the program till about 11:30 Eastern. And the reason is that I did an interview on Monday with the former governor of the state of New York, David Paterson, who sat with me for an hour, and we had a very good discussion about politics as they are now and how uncivil things are. And he's a great guy to listen to. He's very smart, and we got going, and I just said, hey, this thing's going past 30 minutes. It's going on to an hour. I'll let it go an hour, and then we can all discuss it after our play.
You don't want to break it up into two.
No. Why? It's that good. And,
that's great. I'll look forward to it.
I think people will enjoy it, but whatever. There are a whole bunch of people here waiting, Phil.
Really?
Should we?
Are any of them sober?
I imagine they are.
All right.
Let's let them come on here. And here's Kevin, and here's Alan, and here's the lovely and attractive Charlie Wallace as well. And we have Jeff Stein is with us as well. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. I love the conspiracy theorist that Phil is.
Yeah, this whole thing about they're trying to.
Nobody in the country, no news agency in the country knows what's taken, but Phil does.
They went in. They went into Mar-a-Lago to plant stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you get Epoch News, you'll know the truth.
What did Epoch News say about Republican Representative Scott Perry today?
His phone was taken.
Another FBI warrant, huh?
His phone was taken, and I
By
think
the FBI.
they also took his Rolex.
There you go. That was paid for with taxpayers' money. So Trump takes the Fifth Amendment, Phil.
Yeah.
And Alex is right. I heard him say when he was president that somebody that takes the Fifth is usually guilty. So what's he guilty of?
Multiple times.
Yeah,
it's his
at least
prerogative. 5 times.
At least 5 or 6. Yeah.
It is a prerogative, but it's usually done by people that are guilty, so they don't incriminate themselves.
How is that? How is that true when it's an amendment to the Constitution and it's?
You ought to ask Trump that.
Yeah, really.
Hey,
he's the one that said it.
Well, I guess when you're in that kind of position.
No. Hey, if you believe in your boy Trump, then you have to agree with what he said. He told you. You should agree to it, that if somebody refuses to, takes the Fifth Amendment, that they're probably guilty.
Well, he also said that if you're being investigated by the FBI, you should not be qualified to run for the United States presidency.
Well, that's a direct quote.
Several times.
That's true with Hillary.
About the same amount.
Oh, with Hillary.
But Hillary's not running. DeSantis actually said something very similar to that today. Yeah. He said on Fox News, I watched it, he said, if Trump's being investigated by the FBI, maybe he's not the right person for 2024.
What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
I thought DeSantis was.
What happened to the Constitution? I thought you took an oath, Alan, to uphold the Constitution. Now that you know,
At least I understand it versus you. You took the same oath.
Yeah, I did, and I believe in it.
This was full. This was full a half hour ago.
Yeah, really.
Thank God I stopped drinking alcohol. I would be drunk.
Hey, this is what I'm doing for water.
That's your piss bottle. What are you doing with that?
Yeah, this one, you get up in the morning at 7 a.m. You go from there from 9 to 11, and this way you make sure that you get enough water.
Yeah. So anyway, this is, I think that you're having a tendency to believe the wrong sources. I'm not saying that you I'm not listening to any of those sources. I'm looking at what happened, and I'm looking to see whether I believe it was. I can't say whether it was right or wrong of the FBI to do it, because I don't know what they were looking for. You don't either, Phil. You don't either.
There's a lot of people in the government that are saying that it wasn't right.
Well, then that's their opinion. My opinion is that they did the right thing. Yes, Charlie. Charlie can speak for me.
I just want to know, what do you do if a person is breaking the law? Just because they're running for office, they get carte blanche to just do whatever they want? You can't investigate him. You can't seize any evidence of his crimes. You can't do anything?
Phil, you have to know. You have to realize something here. That if the FBI decided to go and search Mar-a-Lago, they had good cause, because they wouldn't have done it without some kind of good cause, because they knew the blowback that they would get from this. Everything that's happening right now, they fully expected, and they want to be able to have something they can justify. And I'm sure they'll be able to justify it.
Well, I guess we're going to see.
No matter what we
the interesting thing that's coming up on the New York investigation is that they're going to get Trump's tax returns, and I would like to know one way or another if what he claimed was true, and if it was true, I think you guys are going to have a lot of egg on your face. But what is true?
What is true? What is true?
That his worth, of what he claimed. That's why they want to see his tax returns, because they want to see if he is who he says he is. And, at this point, they're going to get them.
I think he's got more to worry about than us seeing if he's rich or not.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be worried about
thing that I think is, I'd be happy. He said he would turn them over once he was in office.
He called, text you,
and he lied,
and he never did turn them over when he
never
got
turned
in
them
office.
over
Because of the hostile environment that he was facing.
No. He promised that he would, Phil.
He created the hostile environment.
No, Alan created the hostile environment.
You think you went with that if the IRS was knocking on your door and I was out there calling you names? I don't think so.
What?
Still have to turn them over.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Well, we'll see. He's going to have to turn them over now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Alan.
So one more thing on this. The former director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, a lifelong Republican, and appointed in 2016 by Donald Trump for last 2 years after the last guy got kicked to the curb. He says the FBI doesn't do things at the spur of a moment. This was well planned, well done. The thing with Mar-a-Lago and everything like that. And he said everybody's asking for what's happening and why was this done. And he says, when the charges come up, which they will be coming soon, he believes, when against Trump, then people will know what they looked for.
And they did it this way because of what Comey did the other way.
That's right. Yep.
Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think your buddy Trump's going down. I think DeSantis, you like him now, although he's jumping on Trump because he wants Trump to look bad,
Well, he doesn't want Trump to run, and to tell you the
Right.
truth, I don't either. But if he did run, I'd vote for him. But
Let me ask you this, Alan, since you are actually a cop, okay?
I was too.
Actually,
I
a
was
cop.
too. I was a level 1.
You were
Reserve.
a rent-a-cop. Anyway, since you were really actually a cop, was this a raid or a search?
Search, not a raid. A raid is people were in there and you take them and handcuff them, and that's a raid. A search, you just go in with the warrant and present it to Trump's lawyer who was on the premises.
Was he on the premises?
Yeah, one of them, but they wouldn't let him into the house, which is normal. Otherwise, they'd have to handcuff him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it was a beautiful search. It was a big, beautiful search. Perfect search.
Look at all the driver's licenses
Those
Phil
are
has.
all my IDs as a cop.
Yeah, from all different states, from all, even Puerto Rico's in there.
They're fake.
This was me being sworn in. All right.
Oh my
Who's
God,
the other
terrible.
guy?
Which one's you? There isn't a
That's
fat
the-
guy there.
That was me.
He was being sworn in by the janitor in Richmond.
Really?
It's like the zookeeper.
Police.
Go out and shoot somebody. Don't come out going out and killing somebody. All right.
And Tony, how do you feel about all this stuff?
I thought about it, and I'm going to tell you the truth.
Wait a minute, wait. This is dangerous. Tony thought about something.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm going to, I really, you're not going to find anything. And I'll tell you why. You really think Trump is that stupid that he's going to leave paperwork there that can link him?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No way. No way.
No,
He's
it
got
isn't,
that law.
it isn't a matter of linking him. There are a lot of papers they have asked for back that he
Well,
was
that's
not
different.
that he was not entitled to take with him.
Well, that's different. But I think if you think you're going to find a smoking gun
No,
with
they're
something
not
with you,
looking. They weren't looking for a smoking gun, Tony. This wasn't what this
Oh,
was
well, then,
about. They said this
if
had
it's-
nothing. This had nothing to do with July 6th. Nothing.
Think about all these morons that have been sending texts to each other and everything else.
I don't know. I think if they don't do a rating list, they would look for something that really can blow this lid off.
I think what happened with Tony about a month ago is Phil said, when you come to California, you come to visit, I will line you up and fix you up with the prettiest woman I could find for you. If you'd start taking my side on the
And hold
rally.
the bullseye so you can shoot me.
He wanted to stay with you.
Get all those.
Well,
I never
my
said
house
that.
is a
He
lot
said you got
bigger
so many
than
rooms.
apartment.
I was joking. I'll stay at the Marriott. Please.
Thank God.
I told you to stay at the Hyatt.
I mean the Hyatt. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Marriott.
That's okay.
In Baltimore.
That's okay. They have a special going on at the Hyatt in Los Angeles.
I got Alex. I got the Hyatt for $140 at Baltimore Comic Con. Like I'm saving $100. I get because they're having the convention right there, so you save. They
There you go.
reserve rooms.
Well,
yeah.
this is certainly the information our entire audience wants to
But
hear.
listen, back to Trump. I agree with you, Alex. But one thing, Phil, you have to admit, when you take the fifth, that's a mob move.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Phil,
it
you don't
is.
want to say something to incriminate himself.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what Gotti would do. Cutler had him as a lawyer.
Because he's smart.
Bruce Cutler was his lawyer.
Attorneys, look,
Mark?
when you get cross-examined and you get deposed, they're trying to find chinks in the armor. They're trying to
Did you
find.
say chinks?
Put it this
Yeah,
way.
really. Cut your
I
leg.
didn't know.
Yeah, they're trying to find contradictions.
I have to think Alex is right about that.
You don't
Come on.
give somebody that's attacking you the tools to attack you with.
If somebody came to me and said, "Listen, we want to interview you. You might have seen
Wait,
some," I'm not going to be like, "I can't talk to you. Wait until I get a lawyer."
Hold on a second. Phil, what is the object of a deposition?
To try to trip up the guy that you're deposing.
No. I've been through a deposition. I went through one on this apartment. And if I had sat there and said I refuse to testify under my rights under the Fifth Amendment over and over and over again, I'd be paying $7,000 a month rent on this place now.
Wow, that's how much it is. You got a nice apartment, Alex. If you ever want somebody to take care of you, I'm a good cook.
They weren't trying to
He's got
put
a
you in
nice
jail.
apartment.
Tony, stay
Yeah.
the fuck away.
Oh, shit.
Alex, they
So
weren't
kidding.
trying to put you in jail. They were just trying to get higher rent for the apartment. And
Really?
the thing about Tony is that the last time he was in your apartment, you know, all the paper plates and disposable forks are gone. Why? Because Tony's got them.
I had that big jacket when you open it up and the watches come out. What do you want? I got this.
Tony, and you take care of this guy and back him up the way he talks about you?
That's right. I actually think he's funny, really. I'm going to tell you something, Alex, of all the people you got on the show, he's the funniest. I have to say that.
Alan, did you send him more coffee?
Yeah, I'm drinking
No, I sent him a little police car, actually.
Well, thanks for the call, Alan.
You're welcome.
Alan's very generous, I have to say that.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
My daughter, I'm giving her a ride to dance or do something. She sees my phone and she's on my phone and she goes, "Oh, there's another message from a Tony Mag something." And I said, "Oh, no, it's okay." He goes,
You don't want to hear that.
Daddy, he sent like 10 more.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe it's important. Daddy, maybe it's important. I said, "No,
Not that
it's okay."
important, tell the
And then
kid.
there's like another 30 more.
Yeah,
But Daddy, he says 30 times. I said, "No, it's not important."
He just wanted to get bailed out. He was
Yeah, please.
Tony, stop it!
I know. I do that with my brother now. Brian's on the pecking list.
Yeah, Tony got my phone number. He got my email
You gave it,
address,
Jimmy.
and
no kidding.
So I
He
blocked
just
him on
guessed it,
everything except the Facebook Messenger, and he's been a good boy.
I've been pretty good, though. I haven't bothered Alan too much lately.
Well, that's because Alan will shoot you.
Yeah, you're right. I tell him intimidated by Alan. I told you.
Alan has you.
I know
Alan
cops, so
has
he's-
you blocked right now.
Oh, all right. That's why you didn't get back to me. I left you a nice message. I said thank you. Message. Well, now I didn't leave you a voice.
Okay, so the question here is, and I
I'll
don't need
give
an
you Jeff's
I don't need
phone
an
number.
answer from you, Phil, because we know what the
You know
answer
my,
is going to be. How many think that Trump's in trouble?
I'm not going to go first. You guys go.
How about you, Kevin?
Thinks he's in trouble?
Yeah.
Say, what difference does it make? Probably.
Yeah.
He's been in trouble for a long time, but what difference is it going to make?
This is not a good sign. I mean, the
No,
FBI,
it's not,
the
but-
FBI is not a good sign. But on the other hand, I don't think anybody should read into it anything more than it was, which was a search of his premises for certain things they were looking for.
It's step one.
Yeah.
I don't think the FBI has ever done this to a former president.
No former president has been this.
President has ever stolen documents.
He's never been
That's
this.
right.
No former president has been as crooked as Donald Trump.
That's for sure.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't hear anything from Phil.
I didn't need to say anything.
He's going to
silence
say
is
that
golden.
Alan gave it to him off of MSNBC.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is, he's already saying, "Oh, well, we hear that they're saying that maybe stuff was planted." He's going to turn this around. This is a witch hunt, and
Already
this
saying.
is same old Trump.
Yeah, Tony.
I posed this question to the panel then.
Then pose
What
it.
happens?
Pose
What
away.
happens after six? Let's say, before the year's over, right?
Yeah.
After the midterm elections,
Yes.
if there is no charges against Trump,
Uh-huh.
then what do you think of all this then?
They're still investigating.
Witch hunt.
No, if nothing comes out of it, Alan, if no charges
He
are
said
ever
this
brought,
year. Sometimes things take longer than a
okay,
year.
let's say within the next 12 months. If
Let's say
no
within
charges
the
come,
Yeah, these things take time. Let's say within the next 5 years, Tony.
oh, come on, 5 years? No way.
Yes.
That's a little too long.
Yeah, they'll drag it on until he dies.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is within 12 months, if there's no charges.
Somebody let Charlie speak.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, there was stuff in Trump's medical records that he didn't want known, so he broke into his doctor's office, stole his own medical records, and took them out of his office.
You ever notice
it
the
doesn't
look on
surprise
Phil's
me.
face?
You know, Charlie, he didn't want to feed the parking meters either, so he put in slugs in the parking meter. Because he didn't want to feed the parking meter.
Trump is a
Broke
perfect
his doctor's office. I can just see
plenty of
him with the little mask.
I never heard that.
Trump is
I
a
could
perfect
just see him.
specimen for his doctor.
Looking like the guy from Simply Safe you know, with the mustache sticking out of the hood, breaking in, second story man, Trump.
Secret
He
agent.
doesn't even carry his own golf clubs.
You know what he did here? This is the scuzziest thing I've ever heard of anybody doing, or close to it. Okay, stand by for this one, and this is absolutely true. Where was Ivana Trump buried?
Where was she buried?
Anybody know?
Grant's tomb.
I can't believe she fell down.
She was buried at Trump's New Jersey golf course.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And why did he
owns
do it?
the
Why
land.
did he do it? For
It's good
the
for the
tax
plants.
deduction.
Jesus.
That's true. Now, what do you think of your boy Tony?
He's got taste.
He's smart.
We know he's not a nice guy. Is she
it's
really
good.
buried on a golf course?
It's good for the plants.
Yeah.
13th hole.
Well, you know what I want to know? Why didn't she have a walk-in apartment? She wouldn't have fell
Well,
down.
I don't
the
think it,
fucking-
I don't think it was right on the golf course. It's not like
I mean,
she's
really?
It's not like she's the 13th.
She's on
tee.
hole 8, make a left, and there she is.
She's not like the 13th hole or something like that.
She's on the last
Although who knows?
She's on the last leg.
Off
When you're ready to check out like miniature golf, there she is.
Because I mean, after all, isn't Melania the first hole? Anyway,
Oh, that's dirty.
He was.
ooh, that's dirty.
Ring the
My
bell.
mother
That was
said he
good.
had a
Alex.
foul mouth, Alex, this guy. I says, I know.
No, I leave.
Yeah,
it-
Melania won't go up any stairs.
Why won't she
She
go
had
up
to
any
walk. I don't know how the
stairs?
fuck she fell down the
No,
flight.
she stays on the first floor. She didn't take any.
Yeah, she needed something to walk in. She wouldn't have fell.
Donald Trump should carry her up if he was a real man.
Oh, he couldn't carry himself.
It's weird being the
That's
same
right, he can't
age
carry himself,
as
can he?
what?
As old people.
As old people.
Really?
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, so that made me dizzy.
I think
What else is going on in the news?
that's where her grave is. Yeah, you're
He
right.
really is on a golf
Wait,
course.
did you look it up? Yep.
Yeah.
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 Why would anybody want to be buried at a golf club?
Why would anybody want to be buried in New Jersey?
Yeah, you're
Good
right.
point.
Jersey's
But
a
he
swamp.
buried
Who
her at a
said
golf
she
club,
wanted
so
to
he
be
didn't have to
buried
buy
there?
a plot.
You think
You got a
Trump asked
discount.
her?
He got a discount.
I mean, and where did he bury her? There. I mean, you know. And I'm sure he'll have a tomb there and charge admission for people to go look at it.
Why would there be?
You're
a
right.
tax
Bedminster
break?
Golf Course.
Why would there be a tax break for burying someone at a golf club?
For some reason, there is a golf. He'll take a tax break on it, and they can go after him later
Because
on.
you don't pay property taxes on cemeteries.
Oh,
He must have
she's been buried in a plot of land that the.
But the
Trump-
coffin they said was gold.
So I wasn't lying, right, Phil?
No, she's buried in Bedminster.
That's the golf club.
Yeah.
Is that
You
close?
can't make this up. Gold coffin. Come on. That's probably not real gold.
It's in a place. She's buried in a place where golfers would not see it if they tee off for a round.
Yeah, she's in the rough somewhere. She's not actually on the
In
court.
the rough, I love it. That's a good golf term. In
Yeah.
the rough.
Yeah.
He's in the rough.
Yeah. Phil didn't believe me, but now I guess I turned out I was right, right, Phil?
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it says
like
here
he usually is.
that
It's not on. It's not on YouTube. That's why.
Yeah.
She was
tax
born, she didn't
breaks.
see it.
the tax breaks would not apply to the entire property, as the cemetery exemptions apply only to plots less than 10 acres. Trump's club comes in at more than 500 acres.
What a
So he
piece of
probably
shit.
took a part of it
Yeah.
and then partitioned that off as a cemetery.
They're going to charge $1 to get into the
Is
area.
he gonna bury all the kids there?
And Marla and, and
Yeah.
Melania.
Wouldn't he qualify for Arlington?
Oh
If,
God! Please don't
he
don't
was
desecrate.
in the service?
Don't
He wasn't in the service.
don't desecrate.
Well,
How?
no, but he was the president of the United States.
You know something?
so-
I don't think JFK, but JFK was in the military.
Right.
Yes.
When do we
Trump
start
wasn't.
discussing? When do we start talking about him getting his library?
Do we start
I don't
talking
know why,
about
but,
it?
something
Maybe
got
give a couple library.
To begin with,
according
it's
to
gonna
Library.
be a
According to
library.
MS
Yeah.
according to
There's one book
MSNBC,
in
he
it.
doesn't read.
There's all pictures in it.
The Art of the Deal. That's the only book.
So he's got a library. There's 400 books, and all the pages have been ripped out because he doesn't want anybody knowing.
Oh boy.
Tony's got a library. It's all comic books.
No, I'm reading. I have a lot of
Nothing
them.
wrong with that.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Oh, how do you
Bill's
bury
putting
me?
you down again, Tony.
Hey,
I know. You notice I'm a glutton for good punishment.
I sent him my favorite book. Did you read it yet?
I read a little of the chapter. I told you I ran a sale and I made some money off it.
Not that.
I
stupid
actually
book
went
about
against
how
what the
to
guy
switch
said,
hands
man.
while you're masturbating, right?
No, I'm running. He sent me a book, Alex. That was nice. I thought the box was going to blow up now when I opened. Not a joke.
It was ticking.
It was
What was
taken.
the
That's
book
what I'll
called?
take my chances. Like, it's all right.
By the way, I'm watching this thing, Neil Gaiman thing.
Oh, my brother likes it, Alex. How do you like it?
What's it called?
Sandman? Or,
Sandman. Yeah.
Yeah, I never read that comic.
Actually, it's quite good. I think it's quite interesting. You know,
Talking about good.
Yeah.
We got one more episode left of not Breaking Bad, of Better Call Saul.
No, I did.
And yeah, I can't see how this thing's going to end.
They all die.
I don't know.
This is the third time Phil's seen the whole thing, and he still can't see it.
If you look at episode 12, season 6, episode 12, it's really out there. How are they going to sum this thing up in one more episode?
It was filmed in Trump's golf course.
I think it may not have a happy ending.
Right.
They keep saying that Fring is dead, but Fring was in Breaking Bad. He can't be dead.
Fring died during Breaking Bad or towards the end of it. Yeah.
Right, toward the end of it.
Yeah.
So this is all before Breaking Bad.
No.
explosion?
But all the stuff in black and white's taking place after Breaking Bad.
I gotta watch that.
Oh, that's what.
So in your movie, in you're the last one, it's filmed in part of Trump's golf course for another tax write-off.
Stick to the topic.
That was the topic.
I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really not looking forward to it being over.
We feel the same way. It's one of those
About
things you
Trump
really
you're
like.
talking about, right?
And the one we're all hoping, a lot of us are really hoping is coming back, is the Orville. But nobody knows what's going to happen. But didn't that turn out to be just the best?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I watched the last episode of year 2 to remind me how it ended.
Okay,
so I can start
get to
watching
year
it
3.
now.
It will blow you away. It is better than any Star Trek ever done.
Really? It's good.
Yes.
It really is a good show.
Mm-hmm. It's that good.
So talking about movies and endings,
yeah.
I'm listening to these old Alex Bennett shows.
There's somebody who's stolen all my shows and is running them on YouTube.
So do you remember what movie? Do you remember what movie you mentioned something happening at the end and it just blew up? Everybody complained and called on the show saying, you said the ending of what happened of this one movie, and it ran on and on.
Oh, the spoiler?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Was I spoiling a movie?
You spoiled the movie, but it wasn't really a spoil. But there's a big hubbub about it for a while.
I love people who say how you're spoiling that. Well, come on, the thing's been out for 10 years now. I think it's time. But if you haven't seen it by now, fuck you. You know.
Right. Do you remember what movie that was though? That you guys talked?
I have no idea. Why don't you write the guy who put the shows on? He probably knows those shows better than me.
I'm becoming an Alex Bennett show expert.
I mean, I'd write him and ask him to cease and desist because I do own all those shows.
Okay? That's an interesting
by
thing.
contract.
Can you call
Bill,
YouTube
hold on, Bill. Hold on,
get the monetization?
Let me finish what I'm saying.
That movie was Godfather 3.
Godfather 3? Oh, that one deserved to be spoiled.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it.
It wasn't really a spoil, but people just made a big deal about it.
It was, what bothers me is somebody is using my material, stuff I did, my life's work, without my permission. And if he'd simply asked, I would have said, sure, probably.
I have a question, Alex.
Well, let me finish what I'm going to say here.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, I think it's just wrong of him not to get in touch with me and say, do you mind if I run these?
Well, this is what I'm thinking. You know how if you
And it's
played
just audio they're running, by the way.
Yeah, if you played a piece of music on YouTube, for instance, and that piece of music was copyrighted, they would demonetize you, and I guess the money for whatever monetization would go to the
but
person.
I don't know if he is running any ads on this. Is he running ads before these, Brian?
No.
No.
No ads.
So there are no ads. No. But they have the ads like in between your news and the interviews and stuff.
You mean the stuff that was on the show itself?
From 1990, yeah, from 1990.
Okay.
But nothing monetized in the front.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if it was monetized, then Alex could, glom onto that and.
But I saw there's like 5 views. So
Are they running music that we run on the show or not?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
well, then they could get in trouble for that.
Yeah, got a lot of old tunes from back then. But yeah, they are running the music.
They could get in trouble for that. Because they're not.
You might be able to shut them down.
I wonder how they don't catch them.
Look at what happens. Let's say I decide I don't like what's happening and I want to protect my material, my property, and I go after them. How do I look? And what am I going to do with it if I win? If they just take it all off. How am I winning?
What happened to the fluorescent Lee Chinetti? Those guys that went after copyrights and for I guess they went after Sirius, right?
It was iPhone XR. It looks like it's Ray.
Looks like Ray.
Turn yourself sideways.
I am, but it's not.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There.
Sometimes it doesn't work. On the
Okay,
phone.
well, it is now. So.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. Anyway, yes, Alan.
I just want to put a little note in here that I talked to Jack Bishop tonight.
I talked to him tonight too.
Good, and he's doing fairly well. And he says hi to everybody, and when he gets out, he'll be back, and expects everybody on the show to come visit him on the intersection.
On the intersection. Oh, not. We don't have to all fly out to Texas to see him at the nursing home.
Well, Charlie's right up the street from him.
They sent him to a nursing home.
Yes.
And it's a terrible nursing home, and he's changing nursing homes.
He hasn't got
What
a
happened?
sponge bath in a week and a half.
Huh?
Got a spine operation.
No sponge bath. Yeah, upper neck.
Yeah, the
He
spine.
had surgery in his neck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have a stenosis.
Oh, and they sent him to. Oh, they sent him to one of those recuperating home
Yeah.
places.
Yes.
Oh, that suck.
Yeah, they're post-acute care.
Well, they can be good or they can be bad.
Right.
And
Yeah,
this one
right,
happens to suck. So.
I went to one that was terrific. So
See, I mean,
That's because you had good insurance.
probably.
He probably has good insurance too. He was in the radio business.
and some of them are, very nice, fairly decent organizations, but they just don't have enough money to run them properly. My mother was in one that, I felt sorry for them. They didn't have the ability to really do it top notch. And then I managed to get her in the Jewish Home for the Aged,
Right.
and that was like sending your kid to Harvard.
And nowadays they're having a hard time, with employee too.
Yes, yeah. So
Everybody is.
But anyway, so Jack is he's recovering. He should be back, according to what he says, in about another week. But we don't know.
He has his first post-op exam by the surgeon
tomorrow.
Yeah.
What did he have? A stenosis or something?
No, he had
that,
some kind of stuff on his spine. I don't know.
In his neck. In his neck
Was it
area.
in his neck?
He said they fused a couple
Oh,
joints or
well,
something.
if fusing isn't as intrusive as going out and doing a rotor-rooter in the upper part of the spine, like the C1.
Rotor-rooter. Boy, I would
Well,
love to
yeah, they
know
go in
Is
and
that
they,
a technical term, Phil?
Yeah, well, what happens with a stenosis is you get pressure on the spinal cord, and
Well, this wasn't stenosis.
Oh, okay.
Oh. No.
So he had a.
This was Roto-Rooter-esque.
Yeah.
They took pressure off of nerves that were causing him to fall.
Yeah, boy. Now that we talked about Jax being sick, we're lost audience. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You
my
know,
fault.
and Alex, I was wondering if your vertigo is what caused you to fall out of the bed and maybe fall on the sidewalk and at those times.
Well, the vertigo, the tripping on the sidewalk was I actually stumbled over a part of the concrete.
Oh.
The falling out of bed, nah, I don't think so. It's just I fell out of bed. You know, I was sleeping, I rolled, and I fell off. And the doctor, my neurologist, would like to think the reason I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, went to the emergency room, was because of vertigo. But I disagree with him entirely, because I was really nauseous. I've never felt that way with this vertigo. I'm lightheaded.
Vertigo can cause nausea, though.
Well, it can cause nausea. In my case, it hasn't yet. And that day, I'd done this tuna tartare the night before, and I think that was a good reason for me to be nauseous. And then when I tried to lift my head, I couldn't because I was so sick.
I love sushi. I've never had a
So
problem.
finally, they had to take me to the emergency room, and they gave me a pill to keep me from throwing up. You know, and that cleared things up. But I don't think it was caused by vertigo. And my doctor said, well, I think it was. And then as I was walking out of the office, he looked at me and he went, well, maybe it wasn't vertigo.
Hey, Alex, last week my son cooked some fish here, some shrimp, and I didn't know it was out for 4 hours, and I ate it, and it happened to me. I was up all night puking.
Yeah.
And I felt dizzy and spinning and everything.
See?
Alan had an experience.
Yep. I went to Red Lobster and ordered shrimp, and it was cooked on one side and not on the other, and I thought it was kind of a weird taste. And I flipped it over. By the way, I have pictures. I flipped it over, and it was raw. And that night I got sick for a day. I threw up, fever, the normal. Everything ran out of me. And so of
That's
course,
exactly what happened to me.
Red Lobster's dicking me around. I'm going to get a lawyer. So.
Well, we called the restaurant that this happened to me and just told them just so that they would make sure that there was nothing wrong.
Right. I've already contacted the health department and everything.
But but the thing is, tuna you can usually eat raw. That's that's one of the ways it's served.
Yeah.
So I never have minded it that way. There is I'm trying to remember what shrimp it is that you can eat raw. It's the only shrimp you can eat raw. And I'm trying to remember the name of it now.
I don't know. They eat raw shrimp all the time in Japan. I won't eat it.
Aren't most of the shrimp cooked somehow? And
when it's cooked on one side and not the other, like mine, then no.
Let's see here. Raw shrimp. Let me see here. There is a kind of shrimp you can eat raw. Let me see.
I ordered a clam and garlic pizza once, and the clams must have been bad. I was sick for 3 days.
Wow. Really? Was that the clams that came from Trump's clam house?
Let me see here. What happens if you eat raw shrimp? It can cause diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Okay, but wait a minute. But there's another kind of can you eat raw shrimp? Okay, let me see here. What's the name of it? Can you eat raw shrimp? What is raw shrimp called? Pink shrimp? No. I don't know. It was a kind of shrimp you could have, and it was you could eat it raw. So, Of course, that was.
I don't eat anything raw.
You don't eat anything raw?
I like sashimi.
Are you get it really cooked?
Sashimi?
Yeah.
Like meat has.
I used to get my steaks well done just to make sure it was good.
Oh man, how horrible!
You know something? A steak well done is not worth having.
That's right.
Because what you
get a medium.
What you've managed to do is cook all the flavor out of the steak.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of leather.
You might as well be eating.
Yeah, but I never got food poisoning.
And they say don't like for instance, don't eat chicken skin. You know something? That's the best. The tastiest part of the chicken.
It's the worst for you from a dietary
no,
point.
You're not going to live forever. Enjoy life, Phil.
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
I like the skin.
Anyway, I mellowed over the years. I get mine medium now.
Oh my God.
Well, no, that's okay. You know.
No, it is. It's good that you mellowed. That's what I was talking about.
I went out. I decided I would buy the cheapest cut of beef I could find at the store the other day, and see if I could make it into something. And so the cheapest thing was about this big, and it was a rump roast for $15 for 3 pounds.
So if you put a little wire on it, can you wear it as a beach zori or a flip flop?
Anyway, so I looked up recipes, and it said most delicious recipe for rump roast. So I did the recipe just like it said. I threw 3/4 of it away because it was so tough. It was ridiculous. I mean, there was no way you could make this into really good a good meal, you know. So I'm back to the $35 steaks.
They've gotten expensive.
Oh God!
Chicken.
Yeah, all the meat
is
has.
expensive.
Yeah.
Chicken is expensive now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's
Everything.
because of Biden.
Inflation was 0 last month. 0,
Moving down.
according to Biden.
Okay. Well,
So instead of being at a 44-year high, it's at a 40-year high.
Well, I mean, but everything's starting to go down. Gas prices have gone down. You have to
Yeah.
admit that. You know.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
only double what they were.
$3.35 a gallon in Austin.
But they're still going down.
Yeah.
What
it's
are you
$5
paying
down
for?
in
What are
the
you paying
area.
for? What are you paying for, Brian?
$5.90 I think today.
Yeah, about $6.
Damn, where are you going?
I paid $6.09, $5.90.
That's California. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
609. I'm in Fremont. I'm getting it for five and a quarter for name
that's
brand.
When I left California in 2003, 2004, it was $2.50 a gallon. So if you figure that how many years have passed,
Yeah, really.
it's not as terrible as you think. You know.
Yeah,
It
but
just
only
went up
2
quickly.
years ago, it was $2.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
But Biden didn't have anything to do with it, and neither did Trump.
I had a friend of mine, Don McMillan, who was a comedian in San Francisco, was on America's Got Talent, and he did a bit in which he talked about the cost of printer ink.
Yeah.
And he said, you get so much ink for so much, okay?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He said, that brings the cost of printer ink to $3,000 a gallon. He said, gas doesn't look so cheap now, huh? He said, and don't try to paint your house in printer's ink. You know.
Bottled water.
Huh?
Bottled water is, you pay $2.50 for a liter of bottled water, or $2.95. So what's that, like $12 a gallon?
Probably, Phil, if you didn't wear your Rolex in there, it would only be 50 cents a bottle.
Well, no, Charlie's probably could convert liters to gallons easier than I can.
Almost all of us can easier than you.
Yeah. So anyway.
And my trainer, he says, okay, now run 100 meters. And I said, what is that in English? He's from Canada.
What's 100 meters?
I don't, there's a little mark in the parking lot. I don't know what 100 meters is. The meter is a little over 3 feet, so it's
About
over
110
300 feet.
yards. That helps.
Wait a minute, what'd you say? Here, let's go to the
100
physicist.
meters is about 110 yards.
Yeah. Except I got a 60-pound sandbag on my neck, and I'm running to the 100 meter mark.
The Rolex watch that you're wearing right now, Phil.
Yeah.
How many does it say? It's a diver's watch, I assume. The pressure, it says it'll go down to. Doesn't say feet. I'll bet it says meters, huh?
It says both. It says 1,000 feet, 300 meters.
Well, there you go. Now you have something to figure it out by.
3,000 feet.
Yeah, 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet, 300
Yeah.
meters.
The big hand is on the 3,
And the Mickey Mouse hand is on the 4.
Oh yeah, he's got the Mickey.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
And an iWatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. They don't call them iWatches. It's Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
Yeah. So
Mickey's talking.
yeah, I
Bill's got the original
Mine
one.
doesn't talk.
For
It's
a
just
woman.
old.
For a woman.
Let me
Get
see
a
here.
woman's watch.
There we go. Wait a minute. There we go.
It's 11:45. Good night, pal.
Uh,
But that's not the one. I'm not using Mickey lately. I'm using another. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, how do I? No, wait a minute. Forget it.
This is one of the.
I don't bend that way. Wait a minute. Here we go. This is the one I'm using.
oh, that's a nice face.
This was my stepfather's Mickey watch.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a real Mickey Mouse watch.
Yeah, really.
I've got a Bugs Bunny from I think the 30s, but it needs a new inside.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny watches and so on. All those other kind were like rip-offs of the Mickey Mouse watch because it was the most popular one. Who made the Mickey Mouse watch?
Timex? I
No.
guess.
Nope.
No.
Ooh.
Anybody?
Keeps a licking,
Anybody?
keeps on ticking.
Look at your father's watch.
Oh, I was looking in the back, but the band is on.
Hamilton?
No.
Hamilton?
No. Ingersoll.
Oh.
Ingersoll Rand?
I don't know.
The Ingersoll.
That's the air-powered jackhammers, Phil.
No, they also used to make.
What does it say? What does
Colt
it say? Does it say
1911.
Ingersoll there?
I don't know. I'm checking.
He's trying to check.
I need my glasses.
He's
I'm
gonna
getting
put it in
old.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't take it off. The band is on.
Yeah.
What doesn't say on the face?
No.
Stay on the back.
Yeah, but I can't take the band off. The band goes underneath. So. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but they were Ingersolls. I don't know if they printed it on the front of the face of the watch. They may have put it on the face of the watch.
Yeah, it has something.
Yeah. But anyway, that's interesting, isn't it, folks?
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm going to go get my watch out of the safe and see if it says anything. I'll be right back.
A Rolex talking to you. Wow, now we know you're nuts.
Oh, man, it is so hot in here, and it isn't hot tonight out there. This is weird.
Maybe your heater's on.
Yeah, maybe the heater's on.
No.
Your watch, turn the heater on.
But I'm sweating here.
There was a fire near. There was a fire near Ray. I was near Ray's area.
There is?
Morning. There was. The McLaren dealership. They have a Tesla dealership and a Volvo dealership all there, and there's a pickup truck. They think it was arson though. Pickup truck had batteries, Tesla batteries on it, and they caught on fire Sunday morning.
I live right down the street from there.
Yeah, it's like
they're having trouble with those Tesla batteries exploding still, don't they?
I guess.
Catching on fire.
Not very often.
Yeah, well, you know.
There's so many Teslas in my neighborhood. I've never seen one blow up.
Yeah.
Nope. And Brian's Tesla hasn't blown up, and his McLaren's running good.
Yeah.
McLaren, man. I want one of those.
I know right where you're talking about in Palo Alto, Brian.
Yeah. They
my
share a
roommate
parking lot.
I take my roommate to the doctor, and we drive right by the McLaren dealer.
What is your license plate?
I live 5 minutes from there.
What does the license plate on your McLaren say, Brian? Steal me?
I love Alec. I love AB. No, it says F1 jeans.
F1 jeans?
F1 jeans for Formula One racing, because the McLaren uses that. You know, they race cars, F1 cars, and then also jeans, since I work in genome, industry. So it's sort of a play.
Well, I don't hear it say anything, Phil.
I'm trying to see if I got a magnifying glass so I can see it.
Yes.
Hey, Brian, have you tried the new Corvette?
Yeah, I tried that before I got my McLaren. I was looking at it.
How is it?
I don't like the interior, so it's
Okay.
They have like a wall.
Can I ask you a question? What is it about guys in technology and I shouldn't have to ask this question because I worked for technology companies, and this held true there. What's with people who work at technology companies and sports cars and exotic cars?
You got to have something to spend your money on, right?
Yes, you're guys who bought the two NSXs right when they came out from Video Toast. What was that called?
From
Video Toaster.
Yeah,
your buddy.
New Tech.
Yeah,
Video Toaster.
Yeah, they all bought NSXs, and then
brand new. Yeah.
Later on, when they started playing Incorporated, my friend bought himself a Ferrari, and then his friend gave him a Lamborghini.
It was cheaper to give him the Lamborghini than it was to tune it up.
Probably. Most uncomfortable car I've ever ridden in my life. I think I've talked about this before.
Absolutely.
I said,
Brian, are you going down to Carmel next week? And did you spend the $500 for a ticket?
I go every 12 or 14 years I've gone. Yes. No, I'm not going to Carmel. I'm not going Sunday, though. My car's going to be in the Concorso Italiano, though. The McLaren will be in there, so it'll be cool.
What is that, Brian?
But what is the lure of exotic cars and people in technology? And you're in technology, really, you know.
I don't know.
What's your lure to this? I mean, he doesn't
have to drive a Pinto. He can afford a nice car.
I had a Nissan 300ZX. Okay.
There you go.
But I bought it just because, hey, it was in the showroom. It was considered used because it was a demo, and I just said, okay, that looks nice. I'll buy it. And I'm driving down the street, and kids are going like that to me. You know, and I'm going, I didn't buy it for that reason. I just
Nobody knew who you were. They just liked the car.
Yeah, well, it was a great car. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. You know,
still classic.
It was so low slung though that I had to have like the plastic bumper on the bottom changed every now and then because it would get all dinged up and everything from getting caught on, like, you know, those little bumper things when you go into a parking lot.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd pull away and it'd just rip it right out, you know.
You had a cool car at one time. You had a Volkswagen Squareback.
What?
Remember that? Didn't you have a Volkswagen?
In New York, I had a Squareback.
Oh, you didn't bring it out here? I thought it was always parked at the bottom of the steps. I thought that was yours.
What at the bottom? What steps?
At Whiskey Springs.
Well, I never had a Volkswagen at that point.
Yeah.
Bill's mind is starting to go. He's been watching MSNBC.
Well, years go by, and Alan said that. Yes, I saw it on MSNBC.
You watched it? I don't know. You must be bad.
But you had a Volkswagen Squareback. What did you move out here with? Into California?
I didn't move out here with anything.
He was born in the Bay Area. Remember that?
I left a car in New York, which was a Volkswagen Squareback. But then I came out here, and I didn't have a car, and the first thing I had to buy was a car.
Was that the Datsun B210 or something?
No, it wasn't even a Datsun. It was like I can't remember what it was.
So you had to move out there. Phil was a really good friend, didn't offer to buy you a car. I mean, what the heck's up with that?
No, but anyway,
when he was unemployed, he made more than me.
When I first came out here, I was so broke, I was sleeping at my mother's place. Okay, and then I had to get a car, so I was able to somehow buy a car and pay for it on time. Or whatever. I got rid of that pretty fast once I started making the bucks, you know. And eventually I wound up with the Nissan 300ZX, and I also had an Acura.
You had a Mazda too, didn't you?
At one point I had a Mazda. I had a Mazda RX.
Yeah, rotary.
Yeah. I had one.
Yeah, those were fast.
So they were nice. They're really nice, you know.
Those were great. They broke down a lot.
But they ate up gas, though. They were gas guzzlers. Yeah.
When I was young, I had a Mustang 5.0 5-speed in 1990, and then I was racing, and I was on 280, and RX-7 pulled up next to me. We raced, and he blew me away.
Well, when I got out of the Navy, I had to buy a car, so it was the second year that the Mustangs were out, so I bought a Mustang. And I love that car. I mean, what a bargain that was. $2,500, and it was a 2-door, bucket seats.
Wow.
You had what do you call it? Rugs, carpeting in the car. I mean, this was stuff that you didn't get carpeting in those days. You were lucky if you got a floor.
Flintstones.
When I think about all the cars, when I think of all the cars I've owned over my life, God, and I haven't owned one for the last 15 years. But
That's a smart move.
well, no, I mean, what would I do with it in New York City?
I know. It costs you more to park it than you pay for the thing.
The insurance would be incredible.
If you owned a golf course in New York,
you get buried there.
You can park the car there.
You're right. I didn't think about that. Damn you.
When you moved back to New York, you didn't have a car? Is that when you?
When I moved back to New York, no, I sold my cars. Yeah, yeah. When I moved back to New York this time, and I sold I sold all my cars. I came out here because I saw no reason to have a car out here.
How long have you been in New York? How long till you came back? How long ago?
I came back here in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Been a long time.
You know what the average car payment is now?
Please tell us, Bill.
The $1,000.
$1 million.
No, yeah.
$1,000 a month. Yeah, it used to be somewhere. You could buy a car in the old days. You could get them for like
$6,000.
Well, yeah, or
for the whole car.
Yeah, my father bought the last car he bought before he passed away was a brand new 1972 Cadillac Eldorado. It was $6,300 out the door.
Right.
Wow.
And he had payments on it.
No, that was.
Oh, really? That at that time was probably,
Well, the 300ZX cost me $28,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a lot of money today.
I mean, when it was brand new, it was probably only $8,000.
No. That was brand new. It was a demo. It was normally around $35,000, but I paid $28,000 for it.
That was a step up from a B210, huh?
Yeah, I remember. We were talking to the guy at the dealership, and he said, "Well, let's see here. Give me a price, and I'll go ask my my guy, and the business guy, if it's okay." And so my business manager said, "Okay, $200." He said, "No, just any price you want to give me." He says, $200. Go see what he says. Guy comes back, he's laughing. He didn't go for $200, but he can let you have it for $35,000. And my business manager says, "Nah, that's too expensive." He said, "Let me go check with him again." He goes and he checks with him, and comes back and he says, "How's $30,000 sound to you?" He said, "How about $28,500?" And the guy said, "Can't do it. He said, "You can't do it?" He said, "No." He says, "Okay, Alex, come on, let's go." And we're walking out the door, and I'm going, "But I want that car. I'll pay the $30,000. We could afford it." He says, "Just wait. You will hear his voice before our hands hit the door handle on the door to the dealership." And as soon as we hit the door, the guy said, "Okay, $28,500 or $28,500 rather." So.
And you're saying that with the $30,000 because you said, "You know what? I've got so much money. I'll be fine the rest of my life."
That's right. That's right. Anyway, there's a theme. Oh God, it's all.
When those guys say they're going into the back to ask their boss, really all they're doing is they're taking another puff on their cigarette and they come.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. Anyway, hey, listen, that's it for tonight. Phil, thank you so much for joining us. Jeff, we haven't heard much from you tonight, but always good having you there.
Thank you.
We feel more alive when you're there. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and Kevin. Terrific having you here, as well as Alan and Charlie and Kevin and even Tony. Thank you, Tony. And Ray Renati. Yeah, you too. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go, folks. There's our citizen panel, and there they go, and they're finished for tonight. And I hope they enjoyed themselves, because I enjoyed having time with them. We'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. There's no Jack next, because he's still in the hospital. But I'll play a rerun here. Wait a couple of minutes for it to start. Where was it? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.